George Kwaning. And top of the story is this very hour. National Labour Commission directs striking Public Services Workers Union of the National Identification Authority to immediately call off their strike action. And also, Accra High Court admits into evidence document indicating email correspondence regarding payment for the cybersecurity defense system for the national security. And both NDC and MPP mount counterclaims following the arrest of MPP activist Nyame Nana Addo. We have details of these and many more coming up shortly. Stay with us. And now the news in details. The National Labour Commission has directed striking staff of the Public Services Workers Union of the National Identification Authority (NIA) to immediately call off their strike. At a meeting on Thursday, the Commission further directed the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to ensure that the implementation of migration of staff currently pending at the Finance Ministry by the end of May 2026. On Wednesday, the NIA workers laid down their tools over their working condition and lack of implementation of the migration, which has lingered on for more than 24 months.
3FM
the NLT has
92.7
subsequently adjourned the case to June 4 for final reporting on this very case. Now, the Accra High Court has admitted into evidence documents indicating email correspondence regarding payment for the cybersecurity defense system for the national security. Lawyers of the former National Signals Bureau Director, Kwaning Dubois, sought to establish that, contrary to the allegations of theft, their client issued a request from the BNC Communications bank account for payments to be made. Lodi Duasare reports.
During cross-examination of the third prosecution witness, Mildred Donko, lead counsel for Kwaning Dubois asked the witness about the instructions pertaining the transfer request for payment of the cybersecurity defense software. Mildred told the court that Israeli company ISC International Holdings was the beneficiary of the transfer request for payment, adding that over $1.7 million was transferred from the BNC Communications Bureau account. However, when asked whether she knew about the CD equivalent of the money, which translated to over 9.5 million Ghana cedis, the prosecution witness noted that she was unaware of the conversion rates. Further breaking down transactions made at the UMB Bank in relation to the case, Mildred told the court that a sum of 7.250 million cedis was also moved from the BNC Communications account into the personal account of the former National Signals Bureau Director. Again, she explained that another 7.2 million cedis was made into the accounts of the coordinator of the national security. Lead counsel for the accused persons, Samuel Atachia, spoke after the proceedings on Thursday.
All that we are asking for, that we be able to put our cases across via their own elected witnesses. Emails were used to initiate payments on the B.N.C Communications Bureau Limited account. And if that is so, the witness admitting that those transfers will show in the account. And for some reason we don't understand, the very document which will give the root evidence that the monies exited the account has been rejected by the court. So I'm sure your mind is working. It's contradictory in terms from our perspective.
The case has been adjourned to May 20 for continuation of the cross-examination of the prosecution's third witness.
And that was a report by my colleague Lodi Duasare. And our cabinet on Thursday deliberated on the recommendations of the Constitutional Review Committee. Key issues for cabinet consideration included possible reforms to the appointment of MMTCs, a review of executive powers, strengthening independent constitutional bodies, deepening decentralization, and improving judicial accountability. The outcome of the deliberations is expected to determine which recommendations advance to constitutional amendment processes. Here's governance expert Professor Enoch Entry speaking on Hot Edition.
How we are supposed to behave in the country. And if you look at our history, I think the NDC government has done a great job, because the first one was 2011 by Professor Mills, and there wasn't any white paper released on that. And now, after 15 years, His Excellency JDM, I'm talking about Mahama, has come out with this Constitutional Review Committee, picked some neutralized people, they've come out with their recommendation. And I think it's about time that we implement most of the tenets of the proposed amendment.
And that was Governor's Expert Professor Enoch Entry speaking on Hot Edition. And now the national executives of the opposition New Patriotic Party on Thursday managed to secure the release of its social media commentator Nana Adonyame. The party's national leadership, accompanied by sympathizers, arrived at the Accra Regional Police Command to show support for the social media activists. Nana Adonyame was reportedly invited by the Criminal Investigation Department (CID) over comments he is alleged to have made about the Kronti of Achimesuom Nana Boedi Ampoenim Obu Dade III. Here's former Member of Parliament for Tema East, Titus Glover, condemning his arrest.
I want to tell the IGP, they know I've known him for the past years. He shouldn't allow politics to soil his office. But what my party is doing is right. We will do any manner of things that will protect the sanctity of this constitution. The spirit of the NDP can never be thrown away. I am coming for national organizer. I can assure President Mahama he's not going to get it easy. Because we will not sit down for them to motivate our people, for them to do anything as what they like. So we should be very careful. So it is right that they went to the police and let the police know. Sometimes the police are in a fix. They don't know what to do. But it is important that we let them know that the actions that they are doing, it is unlawful. If you want to arrest everybody. Why do you take sides? And President Mahama is comfortable in the Jubilee House.
Titus Glover is former Member of Parliament for Tema East and a member of the National Democratic Congress communication team. Delali Sewokpo said there's no truth in the MPP claims. Take a listen.
If I want to detail you the ordeal that members of the NDC went through during the era of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, you can give me a whole day and I'll give you a litany of how NDC members were subjected to torture, through humiliation during the era of the NPP when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was the president of the Republic of Ghana. Abronye was arrested for threatening a judge, the same group of people who criticized President John Dramani Mahama when he pardoned the Muntie Three, when they were incarcerated, when they were convicted. The same group of people think they have the moral high ground to criticize for the arrest and the detention of Abronye.
And that was a member of the National Democratic Congress communication team, Delali Sewokpo. Before we part company, the Food and Drugs Authority FDA has warned the public that shisha and vaping are not safe alternatives to smoking, emphasizing that fruit, mint, or candy flavors do not cancel out the harm tobacco does to the lungs. In the public notice, the FDA stated the FDA indicated that protecting children and young people from exposure to tobacco and nicotine products remains a major public health priority. Public cooperation and timely reporting of such activities greatly support enforcement efforts. The authority encouraged the public to share specific details, including locations, with the appropriate authorities to aid investigations and regulatory action. That's how we end the morning news. For more news updates, just log on to our website, s3news.com. Good morning.